Okay, we will begin. I think as we begin, first a word of welcome. I wish this were a crowd of the hundreds of people and thousands that really made it all happen. But given the circumstances of our year, we're limited. So you are representative of really hundreds of people that came together to make this happen, and I start with a simple thank you. On that note, would you join me in a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. It is my pleasure as superintendent to recognize this is a very special day in this community. It's been a long time since we've added a school to the system. We have the good fortune, thanks to this community, to add several new buildings in the near future, but this is the first in a long time. And I think it's appropriate that what we've tried to do today is to recognize the people and the groups and at least representation of the people that made it happen. So first, I would like to recognize a number of groups. And I'm going to start with Brian Ho. Would you stand, and any members of your group, our architects that helped us take our ideas and convert them into the building. Brian, thank you for being here today. Katrina, would you stand on behalf, anybody else from the city here? This has been a partnership with the city of Gig Harbor, and I think we offered them a huge challenge. They hadn't done this kind of project from day one. Katrina and the entire city seemed to set out to say, how do we make it happen? How do we make it real? We say thank you, Katrina, to the city of Gig Harbor. I'm not following a time sequence, but even prior to that, Jennifer Butler, would you stand for a minute? Jennifer represents many of those hundreds and thousands of people that I talked about that really made this happen. And I recognize the years that went before the bond issue that we passed, but in terms of the bond issue that was passed, it would not have happened without the citizens group and people like Jennifer that made it happen. So Jennifer, thank you on behalf of all your compatriots and all the citizens. You did a fantastic job, and this is a beautiful legacy. Thank you, Jennifer. Patrick and Vicki, would you stand and really, let's take any of the staff from the school district, because what you set out to do was to sort of the impossible task. How do we do this and stay standing? You know? How do you do this project at all? How do you do it in record time? How do you take a bunch of us and say, let's get it done because it's absolutely essential? And because nobody told them any different, nobody said you can't do it that way, they did it and they made it happen. So Patrick, you and your entire staff, and Vicki, we thank you for all the effort. Jeff Green Gasaway. Green Gasaway has been our partner from really prior to the bond issue itself and all the way through in assuring that we could do the projects within the budgets, within the time, make it happen, make it real. And Green Gasaway has been absolutely invaluable. Yeah, Sam, please stand. Any of the rest of your staff that's here, we say thank you to Green Gasaway. We say thank you to you in particular, Jeff and Sam, for spearheading this. If you don't know what they do or what they've done, they really are the ones that really shepherd the entire project from the prior to its beginning to this very day and beyond. So thank you. For one person sitting here, this has got to be a somewhat surreal moment because she pictures the building that she sponsored and built and took care of and became the Boys and Girls Club. Would you stand for a minute and just, we had this funny beginning in which I heard a little rumor that there might be a chance to buy the Boys and Girls Club, and then I got a phone call that said, no, it wasn't going to happen. And then I got a phone call from this lady that said, let's talk. And from that moment, I think that was the wall. No, this was the wall. It used to have your name on it, and I say thank you for making this happen. Without you, it would not be here. It would not be this kind of building, and we say thank you to the entire Boys and Girls Club staff. Thank you. She'll have a chance later, but I just want to have her stand as our planning principal, Stephanie Strader. Stephanie took on the early role of the planning principal, and I was teasing her a minute ago about if you walk down that hallway next to the gymnasium, that's Strader Street. As Stephanie would look at it and say, that won't work, this will work, this make it work. Stephanie has been there throughout this, and the benefit of having a planning principal who got to start it from the first ideas and not wait to see how other people screwed it up. Stephanie has taken that role on, and on behalf of your entire staff, Stephanie, I give you a personal thank you and to all of them for the work. Thank you. Now I'd like to recognize a group that I joined them in the summer of 2018, late in that summer. They were trying to wrestle with what do you do on the heels of the failure of the bond issue that spring. They invited me to join them as part of a team, and a month or two later I put a proposal in front of them and suggested that there was a way to do it. They gave me permission. They supported me from that very moment, and I want to say thank you to a board of directors that has been absolutely fantastic in making this happen and making it a reality. So would the entire board of directors for the Peninsula School District please stand for a moment? A lot of people, particularly in a year like this, wonder why anybody wants to serve on a school board. The reality is the tough choices, tough decisions, and in this case, a community group that took on the responsibility of a $200 million bond issue, doing it right, doing it carefully, doing it within the scope of what the community would expect from its elected leadership. In a few minutes, I'll reintroduce our board president, David Olson, and he'll get to say, but for this moment, if I may just say thank you to the board of directors for the Peninsula School District for an absolutely magnificent job leading to this moment. I think Stephanie said it was the first time in 34 years that we've added a building to the system. So congratulations, what a magnificent job, thank you. So what I've implied in my words, and very quickly, would be 2 years ago in February of 2019. We finished about 6 to 8 weeks of pretty intense campaigning in the community to talk about 1/3 of our kids being in portable classrooms, to talk about buildings that across the entire system needed renovation and were desperately in need of modernization and support. We were in that era of what is the safety, what will be the safety requirements, what are the energy requirements, what are all the pieces. I picture Patrick in the first conversation we had as he tried to describe to me the needs of the physical plant in the district. So I from that to February of 2019, and as we gathered to count the votes and hear the results and see that that bond issue had passed, was by that time there was the Boys and Girls Club was going to give us a running start. School number 10, this is school number 10, was to be put out to bid in the spring of 2021. We're a month or two ahead of bidding that project to build the school. Obviously, with the February 19 passage and with the purchase of the Boys and Girls Club, we were enabled to move that forward. When we moved that building forward, it left Evergreen as the one that would be out there on that second tier, and we said we can't just leave Evergreen as the final one. Let's do all four at once. So this one was put on a fast track. I did not recognize earlier, and I apologize, one group that's been absolutely, has taken it from last spring to present, Forma Construction. Please stand. I apologize for not including you earlier. Now is a perfect time to recognize that these gentlemen represent the company that came in and said, by the way, you can't do it on your timeline. And we've battled that ever since because we believed we could, and here we are today, and we say thank you for a beautiful school added to this community. Thank you to Forma. So in somewhat record time, the concepts were put together, the staff joined in, and we began the process to launch, bid the project, begin construction, and at the same time, we had this little task that because we had the Boys and Girls Club, we had to put kids in the building. We needed it right away, even before the building. So I think some of the staff got to watch the trees fall in the very spot that we're in. I think Stephanie, your office was right up there, and you could watch some of that happen. It has taken us almost record time to reach this point, but we now are at the point where we have added this building to the school district. We had the fun of bringing students in a few weeks ago, and now for the next 50 years, or perhaps longer, this building will be a part of the Peninsula school system, and many will not even think back to anything other than it's always been there. So my opportunity is to say thanks to a great community. Thanks for a beautiful, beautiful new school that adds what for the kids. The fact that the kids they're not there at this moment, they'll be there again tomorrow, are using that building already is just a fabulous tribute to all of you. So from a very grateful superintendent to an entire group of people that made it happen, I would say thank you. On that note, I will do a quick handoff to the board president of a very proud Peninsula School Board. Mr. David Olson, would you care to take over the podium for a moment?
So I know Stephanie wants to get this ribbon cut, so I'll try and keep my remarks less than 20 minutes. So thank you and welcome to Pioneer Elementary School. What a beautiful school we have behind us. And thank you all for being here in the audience, and for those that are watching via live stream, thank you for being here today. So as Art said, I'm David Olson. I'm the president of the Peninsula School Board, and I've been a member of the school board for almost coming up on my 8th year, and I really am honored to be here today and speak on behalf of the board. First, I want to recognize our board vice president, Lori Glover. And you want to stand up? Past President Deborah Krishnadasan. Board member Chuck West. And board member Natalie Wimberly. On behalf of the entire school board, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. Today we celebrate the hard work of many people in our community school district, and to make this dream come true. It's been a long time coming. As Art said, it's been over 30 years since we built our last brand new elementary school. And in that 30 years, the population within the Peninsula School District has doubled. So the need has been great for a long time, and we're so honored to be able to finally have this new school. And we could not have done it without our voters. The beautiful facility that we have behind us would certainly not be here without the members of our community. When Dr. Jarvis arrived, he took a minute to review what had happened previously, and he identified a new strategy, and the board approved it as he said, and it turned out to be a winning strategy. After we won the bond in February 2019, the school district or the school board challenged Dr. Jarvis and his staff to pursue an aggressive construction schedule, and they took the ball and they really ran with it. I thought Stephanie was going to be the only one to get touched, but so they took the ball, and in less than just 2 years' time, we have this beautiful facility instead of 4 years, which is what the voters approved. So, thank you. So with your successful bond and the citizens' vote, we're building 4 brand new elementary schools. We're getting a new rebuilt Ardendale, new Evergreen. We have Pioneer behind us, and also we're getting a brand new school up in the North Harbor area to be named later in the future. So everyone involved in the planning of this new school, I just want to give them a quick shout out. If I'm repeating myself, I apologize, or Dr. Jarvis, all the people in the city of Gig Harbor, we could not have done it without you, so thank you. Our wonderful architect, TCF architect, you definitely delivered a home run. Your designs look exactly to the way they did when you presented them to the board. Our general contractor, Forma Construction, was one of the only contractors that we approached that said they could get the job done in such an aggressive timeline. They did it, and they've done a fantastic job, so thank you. Our project manager, management company, Green Gasaway, Jeff and his crew have done a fantastic job working night and day for the last 2 years to pull this off, and we're really proud of having them as a partner. Other community members, Penn Met Parks, Boys and Girls Club of Puget Sound, and especially stand up for Peninsula Schools. Great job. Former board members Marcia Harris and Leslie Harbaugh, Dr. Jarvis, oh man, Patrick. Oh, and I also want to call out our student board representative, Connor Flaherty. Thank you for being here. So almost forgot. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm sorry I'm a little emotional. It's been a long time. We celebrate, golly, we celebrate our students for whom this school was built. Although they couldn't be here today in person due to COVID restrictions, we know that the students that are going to be here will be the true beneficiaries of everyone in the community and all of your support. We dedicate this school today to the roughly 300 students that will begin attending this school in the near future, and all the countless students that will be here going forward. So once again, I appreciate you being here, and I'd like to call up our amazing facilities director, Patrick Gillespie, just give a few words as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, President Olson. So now that Art and David have said everything I was going to say, I'll come up with some stuff really quick. But a couple of things I'd like to say thank you to all the people watching virtually. We really wish you were here today. For all of you sitting out here in the really cold weather, I really wish we were inside today. But thank you for being out here. It's super exciting. I want to point out a couple of things real quick before I go. There is access to the play toy for those of you who want to kind of look at it, play with it, use it, feel free. Also note inside, although we couldn't get you in there, we do have the big LED screen with, I think, all of our key players, SUP, Forma, City of Gig Harbor, Green Gasaway, TCF. I think all your logos are up there. Wish we could have that displayed a little bit more prominently today, but just know from the bottom of our hearts how much we appreciate each and every one of those groups. From Forma, sorry, I'm supposed to be looking at the camera. Forma, all the hard work that you and your staff have put in. I know Jason, Jim are here today, but we've had great people, Caleb on site and so many others, working really hard to get this school ready. Brian Ho, his team, Jerry Pless, is the architect who's been here with us every step of the way. Sam Green Gasaway, can't do it without you. Katrina with City of Gig Harbor. Wow, everybody at City of Gig Harbor, just can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is to work with the City of Gig Harbor, all the staff there. So many people to name, just know everybody there we've talked to has been amazing, so thank you. SUP, obviously, waving signs, phone calls, all those great things you guys have done out there, appreciate it. Jeff, Vicky, sorry, now you're gonna get me. Sorry. Well, two amazing people as part of my team. Couldn't do it without you. Sorry. On the board, you guys are amazing. Can't tell you how great it's been to work with this board. Really there for all of us the whole time. And of course, my boss, Karen. Wow, amazing person. Can't tell you how much I appreciate her. And Dr. Jarvis, thank you so much for everything you've done for me and our department and this community. I'll just tell a little story. I remember first time I probably met Dr. Jarvis or saw him was at the Gig Harbor High School gym. And he said, I'm not here to babysit you. I'm here for 1 year. We're going to change things. We're going to do work. We're going to work hard. It's been 3 years, and I got to tell you, I think he has done a lot of changing in 3 years. There's a lot of things that have happened, Bond. I just wish that you'd be around a little bit longer, but I know it's not possible. And we look forward to your retirement for the 5th or 6th time. We've all lost track. And we know the new superintendent will come at some point. But thank you all very much for that. I'm trying to make sure we didn't miss any of the thank yous in here. I think everybody got them. If I did miss somebody, please know we apologize. We know there's so many people that worked really hard from the move-in of the building to last year, all of the temporary housing. Actually, that's a good one. All of our Henderson Bay parents, students, staff were displaced for the beginning part of this year to the ESC, and then us, we were displaced into a different office building. Thank you so much for being accommodating. Same thing with the Pioneer families, students, staff, starting at the Henderson Bay building this year, moving over the winter break. You guys have all been amazing. And then I'm going to talk about the principal for a minute. What a wonderful person. She's been here from the beginning through the whole process. There are lots of pieces of the puzzle. She reminded us why those of us designing aren't the smartest people. And that's why we have Strader Street, that gets us from not walking to lunch outside. We all thought it was a bright idea. Stephanie clearly told us why it wasn't. And we have great things like that because she was part of the process. Also, through the process, she was someone that, as we wanted to make sure things were perfect, she'd walk through and always had a huge smile and loved everything going on, her building, and take great pride in it. So I'd like to introduce to you today the first principal of Pioneer Elementary School, Stephanie Strader.
Thank you, Patrick. Mr. Olson, Mr. Gillespie, I wrote a speech today because I didn't want to cry. But you didn't set me up very successfully, so we'll see what I can do today. I want to start by saying thank you to, and I'm not going to name all the individual groups here today, but this has been a truly remarkable process, and I don't know what else to call it. It has been a journey. I have cried and I have laughed and I have been grateful and I have also said, what did I do? And then there's those in my personal life too, my family who have been there to support me. I have 2 young children, and just to know that they have been there along the way have really been helpful. So it is a great honor that I'm here today as we officially recognize Pioneer Elementary School as a product of Peninsula Schools. I have always felt great pride in this community. To see us come together now, launching the first 4 new elementary schools and 6 buildings altogether, I could not feel a greater pride. The stunning new facility behind me is more than a school building. It's a symbol of hope, dreams, and unity as we collectively set out to extend and enrich in the learning in Peninsula School District. We came together as a community, and now we set off on another journey to reimagine how we do school. Pioneer is more than a new building. It's a vision of learning where students are in the driver's seat and collaboratively exploring the world through STEAM. Teachers, students, parents, and our greater community are partners as we provide experiences that allow students opportunities to engage in hands-on learning that empowers them to ask and answer questions. To state that we've been exhausted getting to this point is an understatement. This has been grueling emotional work, and every step of the way has been so worth it. And while my team, the staff that have worked hard every single day for the kids in this building, cannot be here with me physically right now, they are behind us in those walls, celebrating with us and taking solace in all they have accomplished in what I believe to be one of the most challenging years in education. We would not be Pioneer without each of them, without each of the parents who have dreamed alongside us, without the community who supports us, and most importantly, our students, who every day challenge us to think a little bit differently about the world around us. At this time, we've prepared a little video for you. These incredible students, our Pathfinders, are eager to share with you what it means to be a Pathfinder.
What does it mean to be a Pathfinder? I think you have to be respectful, responsible, and safe.
A Pathfinder is a hard-working student.
Share with others.
A person who finds paths through questions, finds different ways, and works very hard to get it right and tries their best.
I think what it means to be a Pathfinder is understand what learning and engineering is about. And for me, I think my most favorite part is that we're learning new things like almost every day. Unlike how air can make enough current to make things go in the air and that kind of stuff.
A Pathfinder is a courageous, heartful, and caring student.
To be a Pathfinder, it means you persevere through the hard work and you think hard, even if it gets difficult. If you make mistakes, it's okay, so you keep trying and you help each other out, and you gotta persevere hard.
What it means to be a Pathfinder is to be respectful, safe, kind, honest, and to always stick up for others.
January 19th, with our K-1 students at the time, there were probably around 50, 60, 70 students at that time, and we have expanded in the last few weeks to nearly 300 students on campus in our hybrid model, and it just finally feels like school. We have COVID, but it finally feels like school, and so really I get up in the morning every day for those students who show me every day what it means to be a Pathfinder. Before I conclude what I had actually written, I want to speak to a group of people who are very special and near and dear in my heart, which are the educators in this building. Everyone who chose this made a choice to come here. I didn't have a lot of answers at the time, but I had a dream and I had a passion and I had a vision for what I want to accomplish at Pioneer Elementary School. And they jumped on board with that. They didn't ask questions. They took the challenge, and to each of you watching here today, I thank you for taking that challenge. Pioneers are not a one thing. We're not there yet, but you made the choice to join this journey with us, and I am so grateful to each of you who have brought experiences and ideas and heart and passion to the work we're doing. Thank you for choosing to be here with me. Before we conclude, I want to remind you all that you are a part of Pioneer too. I'd like to encourage everyone here to make a commitment to do something new today. Doesn't matter what it is, it just needs to be something that makes your heart beat a little faster for the passion and excitement it brings. That is our goal at Pioneer, to challenge ourselves to try something new and fail forward. As we end our time here today, consider one wish you have for the children at Pioneer Elementary and send it to me. Together, let's fill our halls with the dreams for our students from the members of our community. Thank you for being here with us to celebrate and for each of your incredible contributions to getting us to this point. I am blessed to be leading the work and thus as we pursue immense opportunities for the children of Peninsula School District. I turn it back to Dr. Jarvis.
As Stephanie was speaking, I was thinking about the fact that one of the cries that I have heard over the years from a lot of different districts and places is the principal who says, if only I had been here when you started this, not to give me what the mistakes you made along the way. Stephanie really had that chance. And so as we see the name Pioneer and we see the Pathfinders, I can't think of a better tribute to Stephanie for her work in laying the groundwork for the program. And the reality of all of this is it's not the building, it's about the kids. There's a saying in education that we educators get to touch a future that we probably will never see. In the case of a building like this, that's pretty much guaranteed that that building will be there for a long time for a lot of kids. So the idea of Pathfinders and Pioneers and making it happen, Stephanie, your name on the plaque will be there for as long as that building is there, and you've got to contribute. On that note, what I would like to mostly say is to say thank you leading to this moment on behalf of a bunch of kids that don't necessarily know who you are or what you did. All they know is you've provided for them. Many of those kids haven't even been born yet. They will be the ones that roll in over decade after decade. I count my blessings. How many people get to go back 56 years to their first year in the business and then talk about celebrating a building that'll be here for another 50 years, 56 years later. So I just count my blessing that you allowed me to be part of this, and I'm grateful. Now we get to do what we really set out to do, and that is to say we need to cut a ribbon. Typically we would do this on the front steps for a lot of reasons, such as the cement truck that's over there and some other reasons. Plus we weren't quite trusting of the weather. Last night when I heard it was snowing, I was not a happy superintendent. But we're going to take our ribbon cutting. We will do a little bit later a snapshot on the front and show a ribbon cutting to the front door. But right now the ceremony would be such that I get a tremendous honor, and I say thank you for that honor. Amy Gordon and the entire communication staff, thank you for putting this event together so that we can celebrate the opening of